The Queen Mother, an apex striker, enjoys the golden hour. Yet a subtle ear flick reveals. Weaving through the thicket reveals the stealth assassin class, a massive African rock python.
The snake's biological weaponry, its heat-sensing pits, allow it to calculate the exact trajectory for a lethal lunge. The Mother Protector springs into full combat mode. The risk of a python's bite is severe, but the Mother Lioness is an indomitable warrior who refuses to yield. The Mama Lion Strikes Back moment captures her delivering a crushing force bite. The Support Striker class surrounds the snake. This display of psychological warfare creates a tactical overmatch. The Python is now the prey class, trapped by a superior force of feline guardians.
The Pride Tactical class now takes over. One of the other lionesses moves in to grab the python's tail. A distraction class moves.
Is the Deterrent class, ensuring that no other predators, especially hyenas, attempt to scavenge during the chaos. The python makes a suicide strike, lunging at the throat, but the lioness responds with a powerful swipe. The Slayer class lioness is not finished. She pounces on the middle of the snake's back, a pinning class maneuver.
In the wild, the healing of trauma often comes through the powerful social bonds of the pride. This nurturing touch is the emotional anchor.
Back at the front line, the mother lioness delivers the coup de grace bite to the python's neck. The close-up is intense.
The conquering class stands united. This microdrama of survival highlights the universal instinct.
A scar of honor, reflecting emotional depth. The hormonal shift from adrenaline.
Having completed its first survival lesson, the cub's reunion with its mother is a vital bonding moment.
The predator becomes a resource. This cyclical transfer of energy highlights the profound interconnectedness of the savanna food web.
While the battle between the python and the lion was intense, it is just one of many survival stories that happen every day. The physiological toll of such a high-stakes encounter is clear. Her heart rate must now stabilize after the massive adrenaline surge.
The rough tongue is a natural antiseptic, vital for the vulnerable cub.
Here we see the apprentice class demonstrating tactical reinforcement. This educational moment, investigating the camera focuses on the alpha male, his massive mane catching the late afternoon light to create a symbol of dominance.
This is a display of collective security. The lionesses use their spatial intelligence to map the nursery zone, ensuring the infiltrator has left the area.
The functional design of the feline claw, used here for precision grappling against the snake's slippery armor. The sharp
the psychological impact on lion cub, which is now exhibiting heightened vigilance behavior.
The documentary highlights the emotional intelligence of lions, showing how they decompress as a group.
The battle carries a heavy metabolic cost. To repair the internal damage, the snake must now enter a state of dormant.
This is acoustic combat. The lioness uses sound to warn off potential usurpers. A final stage.
A crucial lesson in mimicry. The young cub observes its mother's defensive hiss, demonstrating the resilience passed down through the pride.
This shot beautifully captures the hierarchy of power. These cunning scavengers monitor the post-combat scene. The documentary reflects on the ancestral combat between cats and snakes, a deep-time rivalry.
Huddling together provides social thermoregulation and collective defense. This unified wall of muscle.
The python's failure is evident in the dust. Every action leaves a signature, and this displaced soil and...
Here, on the grand stage of the savannah, the cycle of life is a continuous battle.
The documentary explains the pivot of pride signals. In 4K, the subtle muzzle movement of the tiger is rendered with incredible detail.
The alpha male Kleisigt mark territory.
This infant survivor demonstrates the arboreal nature of the species, using elevation to avoid predators.
The infiltrator will return once its injuries are healed.
The documentary explains the learned risk, where the pride will now avoid this specific ambush site for a time.
Victory in the wild is a collective achievement.
Initiating a post-skirmish patrol, the lioness executes the pride's security protocol, ensuring no infiltrator threat remains in the thicket.
This sanitization class utilizes olfactory combat. The pride engages in crucial data gathering, sniffing.
This social reassurance helps lower the stress cortisol levels of the nursing mother. The male provides the cycle.
The fight is over, and the restoration begins. The warrior mother becomes the life giver.
The arrival of the lappet-faced vulture adds a secondary threat. These scavengers use their savanna. This object play is a developmental bridge to real-world combat.
The documentary explains the energy conservation of the apex, which must limit movement during the hottest hours to avoid heat stroke. Resting, yet eternally watchful. The mother leopard's ears swivel towards the python's retreat, showcasing the supersensory hearing of a true guardian.
The interconnectedness of this habitat is clear. The python holds the geographic advantage, poised to strike in... This tactic analysis captures the alternate punch.
The young survivor, having narrowly escaped the python's grasp, begins the slow process of confidence building. The documentary narrative explains the atmospheric surveillance of lions, who can smell danger miles away. Mutual grooming is a vital social recovery mechanism. This tactile communication reinforces the unity of the pride after the shock of combat.
The acoustic deterrent notifies the python and other stalkers that the pride is fully mobilized.
This strategic migration is a crucial mobile defense. By keeping the infant survivor constantly moving, using infrared biological sensors, the Burmese python tracks its prey. This patient hunting,
a thematic conclusion to the midday struggle. The mother lioness prevailed against the ancient enemy
through rapid recovery of young felines, whose neuroplasticity allows them to bounce back from traumatic events. The documentary narrative explains the antiseptic properties of lion saliva, which prevents infection after a high contamination fight.
This synchronized behavior is more than just a yawn. It aligns the biological rhythms of the group.
This is the changing of the guard. As dusk settles over the savannah, the pride transitions from defenders to nocturnal strikers.
Love and instinct are the ultimate weapons against darkness.
The documentary narrative explains the chemical warfare of the savannah.
Early trauma is converted into vital threat recognition data. Even the debris of battle becomes a teaching tool for the future apex predator of the kingdom.
This is the collective defense logic. Predators like the python are deterred by the synchronous movement of the group.
The snake must sacrifice mobility class to divert energy resources class toward internal healing class, yet the assassin class remains.
The documentary explains this hierarchy protection, where the youth test their combat aptitude against lower-tier rivals.
The documentary narrative explains the rehabilitation protocol class of wild felines. The mother nudges the cub to climb.
The alpha male asserts psychological sovereignty. This scent overmarking is a visual combat meant to erode. The 4K camera captures a thermal adaptation class moment as the Evering Chill class descends, and the Nurturer class.
This is the predatory transition class. Defense mode flips to strike mode once the safety clause of the cubs is anchored.
The marabou stork, a relic from another era, arrives at the battle site. In this complex ecosystem, nothing is waiting.
The formation combat class is evident as the warrior class lionesses sweep the banks class, while the cubs dash class across the...
The documentary narrative highlights this social combat play behavior. It's safe training where survival skills are honed. This regenerative combat allows the python to erase the physical evidence of defeat. A cycle of renewal.
The lioness maintains her unrelenting guard duty. With intense clarity and predatory eyes, this synchronized lapping sequence highlights disciplined survival. Water sources are high lethality zones.
The innate combat programming of the apex striker means that play is a deadly rehearsal. This warrior evolution shows...
The documentary narrative explains the multi-predator pressure class, where the Felindians class must contend class with threats class from both.
The documentary narrative explains the deterrence with the Powers voice class neutralizes class minor threats.
The success metric of the day is clear. The survival of this future legacy is the highest calling of the apex striker.
The nocturnal transition class as the Pride Wakes class for the Night Hunt class. The documentary narrative explains the circadian combat class.
The clash between cat and snake is an eternal narrative of the wilderness.
The animal kingdom operates on a universal instinct, a timeless drama of protection and survival played out under the vast canopy of the stars.
Motherhood in the wild safari is the most intense combat of all.
As the sun sets, the nocturnal transition begins. The Pride seeks the defensible high ground class of the copper.
The infant survivor class navigates the steep incline. The physical resilience class is evident, showing that
this acoustic shield class serves as a psychological deterrent class to any nearby reptilian assassin class or competitor feline class.
The documentary narrative explains the oxytocin-driven unity, noting that social strength is the Pride's ultimate.
The documentary narrative explains the early warning system class, where the Sentinel monitor environmental cues, like the alarm.
The 4K camera focuses on the resource allocation class, as the mother lioness finds a hidden cache class of rainwater and encourages the infant survivor to drink.
This high-tension realism captures the essence of interspecies diplomacy. The hyena.
This vertical ambush allows the adaptive infiltrator to reposition for a future skydown strike, showcasing its persistent nature.
In this REM state, the tiger's brain undergoes a neurological replay, refining the tactics of the recent battle to ensure future success.
What looks like mere play class is, in fact, deadly serious. This neuromuscular combat class is vital instinctual training for survival. The sovereignty defense class, noting that the patriarch class must identify class any nocturnal incursion class before it reaches the nursery class.
The documentary narrative explains the chemical reconnaissance class, where she can detect the python and scent class even from a distance.
The documentary narrative explains the energy conservation combat class of the reptile, which must wait for the solar class to recharge its movement capacity.
The Milky Way arches over the savannah, a reminder of the vast universe. It is the eternal cycle.
Documentary narrative explains the microclimate management of the Pride, where adult mass is used to buffer the vulnerable against environmental stress.
This highlights their visual tracking and neural processing as they observe the high-speed movement. It is here the young strikers The infiltrator class knows it must withdraw. This diurnal avoidance is key to survival as the mobilized Pride begins to stir.
See, the pre-dawn glow illuminates the undisputed rulers of the kingdom. Despite the Python threat and
The documentary narrative explains the metabolic reset class, where the apex striker class must prime class its body for maximum.
The infant survivor mimics the stretching ritual, a daily routine of growth and development. This symbol of hope.
Every step is a calculated risk as the Pride returns to foraging, tasked with securing the resources to maintain troop strength.
In the Animal Kingdom class, protection is the greatest victory class.
the river crossing demands multi-dimensional defense.
The inherited threat library means apex felines are born with pre-programmed recognition of reptilian lethality.
This is the geopolitical combat of lions, where scent warfare determines boundaries without physical attrition. The alpha analyzes the olfactory data. This is the dual role of the mother. Maternal defense demands caloric fuel for milk production, making this ambush essential for her class. This biological reset, the regenerative cycle class, the snake is renewed and will return to the predatory game class with improved lethality class.
The documentary narrative explains the collective morale class, noting that a positive social fabric class is essential for combat resilience class.
This roar is a strategic sentinel, providing long-range deterrence.
The Sentinel-class Lioness identifies a Martial Eagle-class circling above the infant survivor. The Pride must protect against threats.
This strategic use of the terrain provides an undeniable vantage point advantage, optimizing the Pride's target acquisition across the hunting grounds. This is the developmental combat, where small successes build the confidence of the future king. The documentary narrative explains the zero-tolerance defense class, where the Lioness eliminates the recurring threat class to ensure permanent safety class. The total force class of the Pride shows that collective strength class is unstoppable class.
The documentary narrative reflects on the transferred knowledge, where the young learn that protection is a sacred duty.
This is the cleanup combat, the final act of territorial sovereignty. The sanitization protocol is
through high-energy chuffing and physical affection, the Pride releases stress in a display of group catharsis and emotional intelligence.
The duty of the king, knowing that true strength exists to preserve love.
A mother's strike is the strongest force in nature.
The endless cycle of instinct, survival, and protection continues. These feline guardians
here, on the history of the land, every combat event leaves its mark on the savannah soul, a muted conclusion to the battle narrative.
Peace is earned class through vigilance and bravery class.
From this vantage point, the magnificence of the natural world is clear. This safe haven is
the infant survivor looking directly at the lens, innocent yet wild eyes blinking in the first light of a new day.
In the heart of the wild, protection is the only law.